Welcome, beautiful yogis. I'm so glad you're here, and we are going to spend the next hour and some restoring ourselves, propped over our bolsters, breathing together, reflecting, perhaps deepening our connection to Source, to know that that's what really matters. So we'll begin in the open book pose. Please set your props up. Some of you are already here and already tuning in. So marvelous. If you're not sure how to do this prop setup, we've got two blocks here, little step, one on the middle and one on the flat. And we put our bolster over it and we just lie back on it. It's really nice. You can make it higher or lower. And then these two blankies on each side just support thighs and even the elbows. Once you find where your arms want to rest. Oh, and you might find as you lie back that this is a little bit much for your groin, for the inseam of your legs. It's a big old pose, this. Then know that you can add a pillow on each side to provide a little comfort, a place to settle and rest. Oh, and then the invitation to close your eyes, to feel what's here. To take a deep nose inhalation. Big, full breath capacity, small pause. Exhale through your pursed lips. As you do, release tension. We do it again, nose in. Big, full, lovely breath in the holding moment. And then just blowing it away, releasing not only the breath, but your shoulders. Tension in the face, the jaw. And again, nose in. Hold at the fullness of your breath and blow it away. Till there is no breath left and there's only one thing to do. Receive your next incoming breath. Any way it wants to pour into your body, bringing your newness, your aliveness. And then the letting go of that. It could be through the pursed lips again. That's particularly good for letting go tension and distraction. Or you might be ready to start exhaling through the nose so that both parts of your continuing slow, deep breaths now are through your nose. Our breathing apparatus is built for nose breathing. All kinds of little filters in the nose, you might remember. And so the air is filtered and warmed and ignited by that little chemical right at the top of the nose, the nitric oxide. That's also bringing in what's needed into the body. And then the exhale lets it all go away again. This amazing body that we inhabit at this time to carry us through our life, to meet everything that we meet on the way, so that we can grow in consciousness and remember who we are. So this practice today helps us to do that. beginning with this lovely, easy, yet diligently applied coming and going of your breath. Tend your body as you exhale especially. There sometimes is a very palpable giving away of holding, of tension that we didn't even know was there. Incoming, outgoing breath, sustaining us in the most immediate way, and also offering the way through the challenges, tensions and stresses that have become lodged, as for sure this time in the history of humankind, it's not an easy road. Meet yourself with kindness, with compassion as you breathe, and receive whatever arises. Holding yourself as a mum might hold a child. Just loving, loving arms. Creating a place of safety to breathe this way together. The invitation to accept what is here. To accept your body as it is. To let go any struggle or being at war with your body. And we often are. It's too thin, too fat. To this, to that. And what? What if we could accept it just as it is, put down that struggle, and rest in that? This particular body, and this unique personality that inhabits your body, none like you. I did come across a lovely articulation of this acceptance of the body. It's by Donna Ashworth, and I'll share it with you as we breathe here in our opening pose. And she's speaking to women, but in my sense, that's to all of us, no matter what our gender is. And she calls it Wave the White Flag. There are many choices available to us women in this lifetime. But when it comes to your body, there are only two. Accept it or don't. You see, if you choose to accept your body, you'll soon start to love it, admire it, look after it. These things all follow in the wake of your acceptance. And when you realize that this vessel for your soul, your spirit, is an instrument of such high design and fine-tuning that it boggles the mind to even think about, you'll enter into a phase which I like to call peace at last. You'll care nothing for spare fat, grey hairs, loose skin, you will realize eventually that the body's purpose is not to look good, to attract friends, partners, successes. That it is, in fact, your spirit that does all those things. If you would only allow it to shine through and work its magic. Allow your spirit to shine through and work its magic. Your body, my friend, is but one job: to see you safely through this adventure of life and to allow your spirit to reach its potential. That is it. And if you're on the path of not accepting your body, you're in for a very long battle against an enemy you have no power to defeat. Nature, time, biology, fate. You don't have the weapons to fight those powers. Wave the white flag. Give in. Accept. And it's then that your life will truly begin. So here we rest in conscious breath and a place of acceptance. We are about to complete this particular pose, but we'll do it real slowly and with awareness. To take your time to gently help your knees back up together, helping your knees up and roll to your side. So rolling to the side is much easier on your back and your belly than coming straight up. So a little tumble to the side, a little moment. And then very slowly press your way to the all fours position. And so that we can come to the revolved child's pose place. So we're in the all fours over the bolster setup. Oh yes, we're going to put a little platform blankie to sit on. Just pad our bones. Sit on your left bum and your legs settled over that extra blanket that's already there. Hands each side. Lift your heart. Rotate your ribs leftwards. And then come directly forward, full frontal on your bolster, and to tenderly lie your left ear on your support. And so if you've approached it right, it'll feel right away, and maybe you just want to come up and do it again until you feel you're getting a little stretch across your back. And know that it's a very gentle stretch. And that you're so comfy you could just be here and rest in your breath. Resting in your breath in the place of acceptance. We put down the struggle. We've waved the white flag. I surrender. This is my body. This is who I am. This is where I am. And it feels good to breathe. And the breath has a cadence. It rises, it ebbs away, and you're on that journey with your breath, moment by moment. So as we continue in this surrendered place, let's change the breath pattern, coming to a 1-2 ratio. So we're going to make the exhale twice as long. See how that feels. Now you might intuit that, or you might like to be very exact. Just depends what mood you're in, and there's no right or wrong about that. To let your inhale be twice as long. So if you're in for 5, the out is 10, or something to that effect. So let's now very gently and seamlessly switch side, same pose, other side. Bring your legs supportive blankie with you as you shift to your right buttock, still very close to your bolster. Sit on down with a hand each side, lift your heart and come full frontal, down again, this time your ribs turning towards the right, and gently lie your right ear down. There's something amazing that happens in that landing moment, because we give up that holding ourselves up. We surrender now to gravity. We let ourselves be held. To once settled, to resume the breath practice you were doing. All breath practices that are offered in this restorative yoga are about helping us relax, about moving our attention away from our dreaded thoughts. They're not all dreaded, but sometimes they are. To rest in the breath and in very particular ways. Our brains like to be absorbed, and it's good to give them a place to focus. What can be better than this animating force that flows through us? It's always there. And that, in the most amazing way, takes us to lovely places of ease and relaxation. And everything here to support your ease. This extraordinary body has its own pharmacopoeia. And as we rest and breathe, that whole chemistry of the body is changing. The little magic potion right at the top of your nose, the nitric oxide, as you breathe through your nose, is being funneled down to your heart, to your lungs, into the immune system, and it's strengthening. It helps so much. It's not activated when we breathe through the mouth. So if you happen to be a mouth breather, it's important that you switch that. Nose breathing, at least for the inhale, is most vital to our health. And the other alchemy that's happening in this breath practice, the 1-2 breath, is that the stress chemicals in the body are, with each long exhalation, being lowered. The adrenaline, the cortisol, sense it ebbing away. And what's coming in, what's rising, are the feel-good chemicals. Bringing us naturally into a beautiful state of being. And while it's fun to recognize and acknowledge and language these, and I'm only partially informed, there's more. But I know and have experienced, and know you too have, its power, resting and breathing. We are still on the 1-2 breath ratio. Good time now to gently again come on up, and we'll practice child's pose along the midline so your props can stay. We're going to be lying forward, and feel free to support your knees in this. I like to have something just behind my thighs that when I sit back on the feet, my knees don't hurt. And so we lie forward to just be kind to our bodies as we rest in child's pose. And there is, of course, another pose we can do here, and that's lying on the belly with the bolster under your tummy and your legs not folded up but extended out behind you. So see which pose feels right for you. I'm feeling rather lovely today in the child's pose, and know that you can figure out lying in crocodile pose on your belly, little prop under your belly just to stretch your low back, and lying full frontal in full pranam on the ground. And now is the time to open the airways of the back, to emphasize the inhalation more deeply. So we're letting go the 1-2 breath. And focus on the spreading of your inhalation, And how the exhalation can allow you to settle back down into deeper ease and more letting go. We're on the penetrating inhalation and the softening exhalation. just a few more cycles of your breath in this shape. And now the invitation to make your way up and to create the next prop setup. That is going to be seated forward bend. So a seat, a blanket to sit on, and something to forward bend on, bringing the ground up. So in an asana class, we'd be not using all these lovely props, but this is restorative yoga, and so we are not working quite so hard. We're letting gravity support us, and that's what makes this such a lovely practice. So do you have a little tabletop? I've got my 2 blocks, bolster across. If it feels too low, then just bring an extra blanket on. Bring your table up. And then, oh yes, your legs, you can have them straddled out or crossed. And lie forward so your back's not rounded. So that means your prop is to be high enough for your back not to be rounded. And we settle in to this forward bending place, which is inherently a very calming shape. So yoga has shapes that energize, and shapes that calm, and shapes that balance. And so this is absolutely in the palette of relaxing, calming. And I'm going to speak to you now about silence. We know silence. Sometimes it's so quiet that silence is loud. Poets have written about the sounds of silence. The little piece I came across here is written by somebody, it's out of a collection that supports the Native American culture. And we've loved to read and learn about the Native American culture, as it's really one of the most profound wisdoms on the planet. And so sadly, we colonizers have dismissed this incredible connection to land, to Great Spirit, to the directions. And we've missed so much of the wisdom that's inherent. And so, as you rest and breathe in the seated forward bend, here's a little bit about silence. We Indians know about silence. We are not afraid of him. In fact, for us it is more powerful than words. Our elders were educated in the ways of silence, and they passed that knowledge on to us. Watch, listen, and then act, they told us. That is the way to live. Observe the animals to see how they care for their young. Watch the elders to see how they behave. Watch the white man to see what he wants. Always observe first with a still heart and mind, and then you will learn. And when you've seen enough, you can act. With you, it's the opposite. You learn by talking. They reward children who speak more at school. In parties, everyone tries to talk. At work, they're always having meetings where everyone interrupts everyone, and everyone talks 5 or 10 to 100 times. And they call it problem solving. When they're in a room and it's quiet, they get nervous. They have to fill the space with sounds. And so they speak impulsively even before they know what they're going to say. Quiet people like to argue. They will not even allow the other person to end a phrase, and they always interrupt. For the Indians, this is very disrespectful and even very stupid. If you start talking, I'm not going to interrupt you. I will listen to you. I might stop listening to you if I don't like what you're saying, but I'm not going to interrupt you. When you're done, I'll make my decision on what you said. But I won't tell you if I disagree unless it's important. Otherwise, I'll just keep quiet and walk away. You have told me what I need to know, and there's nothing more to say. But that's not enough for most white people. People should think of your words as if they were seeds. They should plant them and then allow them to grow quietly. Our elders taught us that the earth is always speaking to us, but that we must be silent in order to listen to it. And there are many voices besides ours. Many, many voices. This is taken from the Forgotten Trails with an old Indian. So be in the listening mode, dear yogis. Your breath, your body, the sounds. And so now let's very gently make our way up. And we're going to be lying on our backs for the next pose. So you can leave your setup. We're going to bring ourselves into the elevated legs position. That seat becomes a pillow, your mat the ground, and your setup the support for your legs. Make sure that they're all well placed so that when you raise your legs, your thighs are sort of vertical to the ground. Some of you might use the wall, in which case the whole of your leg is vertical to the ground, but your back is completely on the horizontal plane so that it can let go the stretching that it just did in that seated forward bend. It can relax back. And as you settle back, we'll practice now the square breath, also known as box breathing. And 4 parts of the breath now are the same length. And so if your inhale is 4 counts, the holding of your full breath is also 4 counts. And then the exhale is 4 counts. And then we rest in the empty for 4 counts. Only to begin again. So cueing yourself, you might do 4, you might do 5. But this now requires our full attention on the breath. And it is a practice. So stay present with each part of the breath. We'll do this for a little while, then we'll relax again. But the more you can give yourself to this square breath, the lovelier it'll feel when we complete the practice. Staying with the breath practice, 2 more cycles of your breath. As you complete, let go the square breath, the counting, and observe how your breath will breathe you now without your controlling it, without you shaping it. And let yourself feel and observe how this is. We've gone a little deeper into the relaxed mode. Deeper into the listening. And so the yogis talk about nada yoga. It is listening to the inner sound. So that's not thinking. They describe the inner sound as bells. To me it sounds a little bit like electronic sounds. Just listening with your inner ear. See if you can tune into it and just rest there. Once you have connected to this internal sound, you'll always be able to find it. Sometimes it gets loud. Just rest in it. It's life coursing through you. It is the universe in your body. It's so beautiful. Yogis, let's move gently into our next position. So draw your knees in, roll to your side and get set up for supported bridge pose. It's a complete turnaround. blocks go to the bottom of the mat. Pillow blanket goes above the mat. And when we lie back again, we'll pull that bolster underneath the hips to lift the hips. And then extend the legs or keep them bent. So good to feel your upper back and your shoulders rest. And your heart space open. And your legs, however you've positioned them, at ease. Your whole body held now by the ground to rest in your breath, to attune your attention where it's easy to rest and abide. So gently now, shift to our final position, Shavasana. So with the bent knees, you can lift your hips enough to push the bolster down and let your sacrum rest. Rearrange your legs. Bring your pillow under your head if you like, and then again, your limbs at rest, your arms, your wings. Just a little way out from your body and your hands turned upwards. So restful, so supported. And your mind, your attention now resting at the breathing heart. All awareness of the movement, the feeling of breath at the heart. In our body, this is where it's all happening. We began at the heart, and if we can live from the heart, not from our intellect, but from our heart, we enter the flow of life, even as we rest. And so as you breathe at your heart, know that this is where love lives. Infinite love, love without end. We're linked in to Source through the heart. We're linked to one another through the heart. And so gratitude for your heart. And share it with your loved ones. From your heart to theirs. And widening the circle of your loved ones. Some you know and some you don't. So as we send our love out in this way, we bless the whole world and all beings. Beautiful yogis, this is how we heal ourselves and the world. Isn't it awesome? Beginning now to return. Of course, you can stay. Wiggling your fingers and your toes and just rolling to your side. And we'll close our practice in the pranam to one another, the prayer pose hands, and the love in my heart honors the love in yours. Namaste.